So many of us got what to say, but we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out of the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like you've been trying to the helpless. Oh, yes. We sitting, bringing life to the dream. Yeah, so we yeah, Ruby, and Sammy, and she's oh yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have. The OJ keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. Ooh, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. OJ is speaking for us.
My name is Dr. Oyikosola Jinadu. I'm a beauty professional, Medspa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Medspa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it is important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent Medspa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you. Yes, I cannot wait to meet you every Wednesday night. Y'all know that's my slogan. I cannot wait to see you guys every Wednesday when I come on here on this wonderful Wednesday Night Live with Dr. OJ, the Medspa professor. Welcome TikTok, welcome Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Everybody, welcome to my Wednesday Night Live show with myself, Dr. OJ, the Medspa professor. Tonight is going to be very special. Like every night is special, right? Like I say that every Wednesday. You guys are like, every Wednesday is special. Of course it is special. Do you guys know why it's special? It is special because I get to show up with my gifts right in front of you, doing what I love to do, blessing the lives of everyone who comes along my path, and just being able to just express that simple thing that God gave me. The ability to communicate, like seriously. So it's very special because one thing I know is the fact that there's so many people just like me all around the world who can talk, but there's so many people just like me who are not able or who are not yet in the awareness space of expressing their gifts. So I don't take mine for granted. I am so grateful. Every single time I get to come on here, it's a blessing. Every single day I get to be alive, to do what I love to do, to be here, to show up, to be alive. Like someone said on Instagram, she's like, you can never be caught on fresh. Like, that is even a blessing in itself. Just the ability to show up with your best and highest self all the time, given everything that's going on. I know some people will say, oh, well, she must not have a lot going on in her life. She must, hi, beautiful, thank you so much. She must have it all together. But guess what? That's not the case. Everybody got stuff going on. Like, if I tell you literally what this short week has thrown, you'll be like, how come you're still smiling? But guess what? The reality of the matter is, as long as I have air to breathe, like, I can take that fresh air in and I can let it out, I will keep smiling. I will keep smiling in the face of adversity. I will keep smiling in the face of success. I will keep smiling in the face of whoever cares to look at my beautiful face and watch me smile. I will keep smiling. And I want you to do the same thing. Stay encouraged, y'all. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. So I have a wonderful guest tonight. TikTok, you guys are just coming in hot. The follows are coming in. My thing is growing. The community, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Same thing for Instagram. Do you guys know that my Instagram account got hacked this year, January of this year? Yes, January of this year, I got hacked. Over 21,000 followers got hacked. Try to get that account back. It didn't work. And I was like, okay, maybe God is telling me to let it go and have a fresh start. Like, it was literally the 2nd of January. Yeah, January 2nd. And I started over building my Instagram community, and it's just been amazing. The love, the support. And now we're almost at 1,000, and it's August. I am so grateful. I know. Somebody out there is saying, what's the big deal? You only have 1,000 followers in 9 months. Look, those 1,000 people, to me, they are like gold, because they have made me see the love and the possibility in building from scratch and actually making meaningful impact in the lives of people. So for me, I appreciate everything that comes my way. So let me give a shout out to everyone who's coming on live with me tonight. I have, Miss Prince Adedayo Olumide Odusi is here tonight. Welcome, my darling. How are you, sir? Good evening. Malawa Lawale. Coco Steve, my bro. What's going on, sir? Paulette Pepples. Oh my God. Everybody on Instagram. Thank you. Charlize. Thank you so much. You know what, TikTok David, thank you for the rose. You know, look, you guys will think I'm very partial, but my TikTokers are so nice. They don't just come to see you. They don't just come to follow you. They don't just come to watch you. They will come and they will gift you. Like, they will give you gifts. They will put something there. They will drop something in the offering box. They understand that the ministry needs something to build it along. And TikTokers are the best at doing just that. You guys are awesome. Thank you, David Ogboke. I hope I did not butcher your name, but thanks for the rose. It really means a lot. Thank you for the follow. King Michael, hello, sir. Thank you. Miracle 13, thanks for the follow. Everyone following me. Oh my God. Oh, see, I can't pronounce that name, but thanks for the follow. The one that says hi, pretty. Hi to you too. Thank you for the follow. You know yourself. I am Master. Thank you for the follow. Everybody, thank you so much. So let's get down to the meat of the matter. It's another Wednesday night live. You guys know when I come on here, this is our night to inspire, to motivate, to educate each other, and to just give ourselves something that we can take away for the rest of the week. It's hump day that will get us through to the end of the week and help move the needle forward in a positive direction for us. That's all we're trying to do. So what I have for you tonight, before I bring my guest in, because I'm so excited about my guest, guys. If you know any women, anybody in your family, your auntie, your sister, your mom, please invite them. Share my life. Share this life, because I'm about to bring a guest into the studio with me who's going to be dropping some amazing nuggets that really will impact the life and the wellness of everyone. Like, literally, I am so excited to learn about everything she has to say. Functional medicine, you know, guys, anything that has to do with wellness, that's my jam. But you know, I don't know every area, because when it comes to wellness, I really cover the aesthetics, the one that makes you pretty and nice, the pretty type.
But she comes in with the really hard stuff, the things that a lot of women are dealing with every single day. And some people might not even be aware that this is an issue for them. And some people might not even know, even though they know it's an issue, they might not know what to do or how to go about managing this situation. So that's what we're bringing to you tonight. But in the meantime, I have a question for you. How are you building? Yes, it's a very simple question. When you're building and you come against something that stops you in your tracks, how do you motivate yourself not to give up? It's very easy to give up these days. After all, listen, there's so many options. We live in a world where there's so many options for you to pick from. So if you pick this up today, you can drop it tomorrow. If you marry this one today, you can decide not to marry them tomorrow. If you get a job today you don't like, you can decide to roll into another one. If you start a business and it's not quite working out for you and you've set your heart to it, and you can decide to just move on and get something else. But let me ask those of us, those aliens, I know, because you guys got to be aliens, because if you're living in the 21st century and you're not just giving up on your goals, you're not just giving up on your dreams, and you're going hard and you're trying everything possible and you're pivoting and you're flexing and moving and weaving and and you're still trying to stay the cause, I tell you, you are an alien. You are an extraterrestrial human being. You are not normal. But guess what? That is the kind of person you're supposed to be. That's who God made you to be. We're not just made to give up. Imagine if God gave up on humanity and said, these humans, you know what, y'all, I'm just sick of y'all. You're like so headstrong. Y'all don't listen. You don't obey the 10 commandments. You guys always want to make things hard for yourself. I don't have time. Y'all go do you. Let me do me. You hold on to earth. I hold on to heaven. And then we'll be cool. What if God did that to us? Where do you think we would be? I know a lot of you will talk about there is no God, but look, that's your problem. Go and argue with your keyboard. If you still think there is no God in this day and age, keep arguing with your keyboard. Someday you're going to figure out, you're going to know. But let me tell you this. Your ability not to give up on your goals is just a measure of the kind of spirit that you carry. And I want to encourage you today that even though you are working on that thing, that one thing that you have your heart set on, and it doesn't seem to be panning out for you yet. And remember, I'm emphasizing the word yet. Please, I want to encourage you, don't give up. If everything around you is indicating and is pushing you and just kind of instigating you to want to shift and bend and just break, please hold on a little longer. I feel like this word is so needed by somebody. I don't know who. Maybe I'm even talking to myself. Maybe I'm encouraging myself. And if that's all it is, it's okay, because I really need the encouragement right now. But I know that I cannot be the only one that needs this encouragement. So I want to encourage you. Whatever it is that you're working on and it doesn't seem to be panning out just yet, just hold on a little bit longer. Believe a little bit more. Have a little bit more faith. Because guess what? By doing so, that is what champions are made of. That is what champions are made of. And that's on period. I'm not going to dive too deep into that because there's a little bit more I want to talk about. But I just want to give you one thing, one tool. Because while we're talking about not giving up and you're like, Dr. Oh, what you talking about not giving up? Okay, what am I supposed to do? I just told you I have done everything I can do. I've done everything. I've gotten the coach. I've gotten the tools, the strategies. I've done the marketing. I have attended the classes. I've taken the courses. What else can I do? Okay. I hear you. Don't be mad, because guess what? I get mad too. I get upset too a lot of times. But don't be. Because the reality of the matter is, I can bet some things on it that you're just a little bit of a step closer to your breakthrough. In fact, one thing I know is the harder it gets, the closer you're getting to your breakthrough. So I learned something today. One thing that I learned today, you know what I tell you, learn something new every day. One thing that I learned today is, if you haven't done this, maybe this is the one thing that is going to move the needle forward for you. Write down your goals as if it has already happened. Write it down as a very smart goal. Make it measurable. That means put something, put a value to it, put a quantity to it. You want to be the CEO of your company. What is your company worth? What is the valuation of the company? Write it down as if it has already happened. Write that statement down in the affirmative, like I am, like in the I am, in the present, like it's already done. And read it to yourself every morning and every night before you go to bed. I learned it. I know it might not be something new to anybody, but I'm sure it's something new to somebody. So I just thought I would share that with you. That while you're working on those goals, it doesn't seem to be panning out. You've done everything possible. It might just be you just need to apply just a little bit of mind, just a little bit of your mind focus. So write down your goal in the affirmative as if it has already happened. Write it, make it measurable, make it attainable, make it very realistic to what you know that you want to see happen. It might not make sense to you as you're reading it. Your spirit man might be telling you, okay, you know what, this is not working. Why do you keep saying this? Why do you keep telling us that we are billionaires when we barely have some dollars in our account? Why you keep saying it? Don't listen. Eventually, your subconscious will catch up to the reality of what you're saying. So keep saying it. Let that statement in the morning, in the evening, let it be the thing that gets you up in the morning to keep you going. And let it be the thing that allows you to rest easy at night. Because it's important for you to be able to go harder during the day and for you to rest at night. Because if you're not resting, if you're worried, if you're concerned, if you're overwhelmed, and you're just all over the place, nothing might happen quicker. It's not going to make anything happen quicker than you want it to happen. So please just adopt this one simple strategy. Do it for me. Let's try it for 7 days. And then after 7 days, we go for 14 days. And then we develop a new habit in 21 days. And in 30 days, it becomes a lifestyle. And before you know it, we begin to live in that reality. Well, I don't know. I hope it works for you. But just stay encouraged, okay? Don't give up on what you're building. Don't give up. Don't be like the other ordinary people. Be extraterrestrial like me. Be an alien. Stay the cause. Don't be a human in this situation. All right, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. But anyway, I know that you guys sometimes you feel like I'm just saying woo, woo, wow, wow, but the Spirit knows what the people need. And I believe the Spirit has delivered. And I pray that this message blesses you. And if it blesses you, drop an offering in the offering box. All right? Guys, it's about that time that I go into the studio and I bring my guest with me tonight. I mean, my guest is an amazing, amazing medical practitioner. Let me read her bio for you guys, because you people need to understand the value of who. When I bring guests to the studio, I really do bring them with intention. Dr. L.J. Johnson is PsyD, IHP, FDNP. I don't even know what all these acronyms mean. You guys know me. I'm going to be real with you. She's going to tell me what all this. The only one I know is PsyD. And that's because I'm a psychology major. And I know that means she has a doctorate in psychology. I have a master's in psychology. So, yeah, she's my village people. She's like my people. I understand. But the IHP, me no understand, me no comprende. FDNP, I don't know where that is. It's a lot of titles up in here. I don't know. But look, she is very well qualified, very well positioned as an expert to help us with the matter we're discussing tonight. She is a women's hormone coach specializing in endometriosis, PCOS, and fibroids. Yes, those are women issues, women's health issues. LJ has worked in the women's health and fitness industry for over 20 years, 2 decades, guys, while overcoming her own diagnosis of endometriosis. So while she was overcoming endometriosis, she was working, she was helping people. What better way to serve? Oh my goodness. LJ's passion is to empower, motivate, and educate all women that they too can have the quality of life despite their symptoms or diagnosis. You know, I saw one of her posts that talked about the fact that the doctor gives you the diagnosis, but you get to determine the prognosis. So everyone help me welcome Dr. LJ Johnson to the studio. Hello, Dr. LJ. You are muted out. All right, let me unmute her. She's muted out. Dr. LJ, yeah, we good. Yes.
Thank you. I love that word that you brought. I was like, that word may be for me. I love that, right? We got to push a little bit harder, just a little harder. Sometimes we are so close to where we need to be.
Yes, ma'am. We got to keep pushing. But you know, the reality of the matter is sometimes life will smack you upside down the head. And, you know, even though one thing that I know is that's what life is supposed to do, it can get very overwhelming. And one thing I know is if you're going through something, chances are someone else in your neighborhood is also going through it. So, you know, while we can all focus on our problems and be like, oh my God, woe is me. Look at me. Come feel sorry for me. Somebody come tell me sorry. I'm crying. You can shift the focus off of yourself and try to encourage other people, which is what you do every single day, Dr. LJ.
Absolutely.
You're dealing with this diagnosis, but you have such a great spirit about you. You're helping transform the lives of so many women. I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to let you take it over from here. Introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us who you are, who you serve. We need to understand all of those, your acronyms, all those titles. I don't know. I don't tell my people, I say, y'all, I don't know all this title she got, but she gonna tell you today. And let us talk about it, Dr. LJ.
We love all the titles. Yes, all that means is I've got a lot of education when it comes to integrative medicine and functional medicine and women's health. Like she said, I specialize in women's hormones, specifically when it comes to endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, and hormonal imbalances, right? And so it's all the unsexy stuff, the painful periods, the painful sex, all the TMI stuff that women don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I specialize in. Like you said, it took me 16 years to get my own diagnosis of endometriosis. So I thought before we get started, we would actually define what endometriosis is, because I don't think a lot of people know what endometriosis is. And probably as I start defining it, some of you are going to be like, oh, I thought that was just part of having a cycle, or, oh, that's just part of my period. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to just call it out and put it how it is, right? Us as Black and brown women have normalized pain, right? We have normalized pain in many areas of our life, maybe physical pain, mental pain, financial pain. We're just strong Black women. We're pushing towards the mark, right? That has been our mentality for so many years. And what has happened is a lot of us are not prioritizing our health because we're sweeping everything under the rug. We're going with that acronym. I know for me, at the age of 14, my mother gave me a speech about how I was a strong Black woman and I didn't feel pain. And so I remember when I was going through these issues and I was passing out and having painful periods and all of these things happening to my body, I started blaming myself. But then on the other hand, I felt like I was being weak because I was told that I did not feel pain, right?
Yes, and they tell you that you need to suck it up and suck up the pain. It's like, I remember when I was having my babies and I was in labor for over 24 hours. And eventually the doctor said, and my mom kept, and I love my mother, mommy, I love you. You know, you're my biggest cheerleader. And she was like, oh, she was praying. She was like, in Jesus' name, we're not going to have C-section. No C-section. And then the doctor came the next was like, ma'am, we have to take this baby out. And I'm like, please get this thing out of me.
I know. And
it's one, LJ, after that one baby, like the next baby, I was like, okay, when are you scheduling my C-section?
Yes, right. And so it's so tough, right? Because every culture is so different. But I know in the Black and brown community, a lot of us are raised, you know, we don't feel pain. You know, you're a strong Black woman, you push past it. And then what happens at home stays at home. So when you take all of that as a culture and as a foundation, and then our bodies start to break down, like you said, I don't know who this is for, but some of you guys are pushing towards the mark right here. You need to push a little further. But the thing is that your health is actually holding you back, right? And so sometimes it can be your menstrual health. So when we talk about endometriosis, I know a lot of people, the first thing they think are period pain. And they're like, oh gosh, period pain. No. Stick with me, right? There's period pain and then there's endo pain. Two different things, absolutely two different things. So endometriosis is chronic systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. right? So throughout your entire body, it is not a reproductive disorder. It is not period pain. That chronic systemic inflammation is uterine-like tissue found outside of your uterus, right? So I'm going to say it a couple times because I know people are like, what? It is uterine-like tissue found outside of your uterus that causes chronic systemic inflammation throughout your entire body, right?
It is so like the uterine line is growing outside of your uterus?
Yes. So that is the main.
Oh my goodness. So it's enveloping the uterus?
So it's outside of the uterus. So it could be in your shoulder. It could be in your knee. It could be in your pelvis. It could be on your bowel. It could be in your pelvic area, right? But it's not uterine tissue, right? So when we think period pain, you know, is your uterine lining and prostaglandins and all of those things. But when we're talking about endometriosis, it's uterine-like tissue found outside of the uterus. It is chronic systemic inflammation throughout the entire body. It is hormonally driven. Those endometriosis lesions can cause their own hormones. So they can create their own estrogen, their own progesterone. And then to make it even the more, you know, a little more dramatic, right? It has autoimmune-like factors. So you have a lot of inflammation going through your entire body, and it can cripple and debilitate just about any system in your body. Right. So once we have to wrap our head around that, right? Because it's not period pain. So once we get that, then you're like, what does endometriosis look like? Well, this is what makes it so challenging. Endometriosis diagnosis looks different for everyone, right? So for me personally, it was a lot of period pain, bloating, cramping. I was passing out during my cycle, bleeding and cramping outside of my cycle as well. So that's another thing, right? Like I said, it's not just period pain. So you can be having cramping and bleeding and this extreme bloating outside of what is your normal period, right? Outside of that ovulation cycle where you have that little discomfort, you can be in excruciating pain, right? Those endometriosis lesions are, they're a big deal.
I have a friend who, honestly, when she's on her period, she is totally out of commission. No work, no going out. And when she first told me, I was like, what kind of period? Why are you having? She's never had a baby. And right. I'm like, well, what kind of period is that? Your life stops for like 7 days, like literally. Everybody knows she doesn't do anything. She's really sick. So there might be more going on than just period pains.
Like you said, yes, right. So there is that debilitating pain sometimes during your cycle. But for me, it turned into cramping and bleeding all the time. I was always cramping. I was always bleeding. I was always having a lot of pelvic pain, a lot of GI issues, chronic constipation, hormonal acne, not the cute acne that you can rub some Curology on, like that horrible acne that doesn't respond to.
You were like the woman with the issue of blood.
Literally.
In the Bible.
Yes, yes. Yes, that was
the only thing I can say. Like, think about it. You know, they talk about the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, right? Yes. That she was on her period the whole time and Jesus healed her. Yes, but this is probably what she was going through, but nobody could diagnose her then. Oh my goodness.
And it's because it looks so different, right? So the inflammation is really the big key factor, right? So for some people that may, be a lot of chronic, migraines, you can have the hormonal acne, there can be nerve pain. Like I said, the endometriosis can be anywhere throughout your body. So that inflammation and that pain can be chronic, it can be debilitating, and it will strike at any time.
So is it a manageable disease or is it a curable disease? Is it something you have to manage?
That's a really good question. As of right now, I mean, Lord knows they're still doing their thing, right? Lots of research. I'm 43. I don't know if I'm going to be here when they come up with a cure, but so far, endometriosis has no cure, right? But that is where I come in, and that's really my expertise of letting people know that despite the diagnosis, right, you can have quality of life. What my quality of life may look different than yours, may look different than other, line up 10 different women, but that is really where I like to come in and educate, empower, and motivate you so that you can have an amazing life despite your diagnosis.
Yes, ma'am. So, Dr. LJ, do you have children?
I do. So I have 2 children. So for me personally, no fertility issues whatsoever when it came to endometriosis. But let's talk about some of the misconceptions, because I bought some of the misconceptions, and I would never ever say that I didn't want to have my children. That's not what I'm saying. But for me, I was told that if I got pregnant, it would stretch everything out and I'd balance my hormones and everything would be okay. That's a misconception. That's one of the biggest misconceptions, that pregnancy is going to cure your endometriosis. That is not the case, right? Pregnancy may come in and shift your hormones for a little bit. You may you may be pain-free. You may not. It really depends. Everyone is different, but pregnancy is not a cure for endometriosis. The next biggest misconception is hysterectomies. If you have a hysterectomy, then let's think about it. Like I said, it's uterine-like tissue found outside of the uterus.
Every part of your body. So even if they take your uterus out, it could be on your pelvic, it could be on your shoulder. It could be anywhere else.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, right? So having a hysterectomy is not going to cure your endometriosis because that's uterine-like tissue found outside of the uterus. And even though you may remove the uterus and the ovaries and all of your female parts, that hormonal imbalance will still be there. Those endometriosis lesions can still create their own hormones and cause a lot of health issues, right? So that's one of the big misconceptions, right? That you can turn it off. That you can turn off with birth control, which is not true, right? Because it's not a period issue. Having a hysterectomy, like you said, is not going to cure it because it's yanking out all your lady parts. It's not going to change anything. And then getting pregnant is not going to cure your endometriosis.
Oh, Lord. But I mean, getting pregnant and going through the changes and the transitions of pregnancy and possibly having some pain and inflammation of endometriosis, that would be very, very devastating for anybody.
It's extremely devastating. And I think the biggest thing is for a lot of people, it's that long road to get the diagnosis. I know for me personally, my mother was not really conducive, right? It was the whole, like, you don't have pain, keep pushing. So I had to get past that. Then it was finding a white coat, right? It was finding a doctor in the white coat that would believe me, that would actually understand that it wasn't just a period problem. Someone that actually was able to sit down and connect the dots that, my asthma would flare up even the more when I was in an endo flare. My doctor started realizing that despite, all the medications and all the different things I was doing, when it came to an endometriosis flare, I apologize, my voice. I am recovering from COVID. So
your voice is fine. What about mine?
Right now.
Your voice sounds amazing. You need to look. I was thinking in my head, like, I need to really apologize to her because my voice goes, oh, well, I have this really excited, elevated, high-pitched voice. And I'm like, I keep telling my friends all the time, I don't know how y'all listen and cope with this voice, but look, your voice is super amazing and it sounds great.
Thank you. I'm recovering. I'm just on the healing journey. But yes, so circling back, I kind of lost my train of thought where we were at. But yes,
we're talking about the doctors, trying to find a doctor to believe you and to get you settled and to get you diagnosed.
Right. That is the hardest part of the journey, to be honest. I have to be honest. Getting the diagnosis is hard. And the problem is that it looks so different for everyone, right? What it may look like endometriosis for one person could be totally different for someone else, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about also how to get diagnosed with endometriosis, because there's lots of misconceptions out there. The golden standard to get diagnosed with endometriosis is a laparoscopic procedure. So that is where they actually go in laparoscopically with the camera and see what's going on inside, right? See the lesions. Now, I always recommend, sometimes your OB will want to go in there, your OB-GYN. I always recommend you try to get an endometriosis specialist, right? Someone that really specializes in endo, because it is very, very hard to identify, right? So that is the golden standard to have endometriosis diagnosed. And then the golden standard to actually have it removed is excision surgery. Now, excision surgery is basically, my best analogy would be if you have weeds in your garden, right? If you have weeds in your garden, you can go mow over them, right? And they'll keep growing back every Friday, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Okay, just keep going. That was about
what good is that going to do? Exactly. What good is that going to do, right? Yeah. Or you have excision surgery, which is kind of like when you get down on your hands and knees, you get those gloves and you dig out weeds, right? You get the root of it, right? So that's that golden standard of excision surgery. Now, this is usually what happens. A lot of people will get ablation surgery, which is where you're kind of burning that top layer, mowing over that grass. So a lot of insurance companies and a lot of doctors, because they're still thinking about that old misconception that it's period pain, that it's uterine lining. So they go in and burn that uterine lining, but that is not going to get rid of the endometriosis lesions. So that is definitely a misconception as well.
Is this the kind of burning they do when sorry, is it the kind of burning they do when, when I told them, like, my tubes, snip, burn, burn the tip. Don't make sure, don't, no baby go through, like, just
Little
make sure no baby come through them tubes. Like, I'm done. And, just burn it up. Like, is that it?
Yeah, so they go in and they burn the uterine lining. So that's ablation. So many times when I'm working with my patients, they will be, telling me, they've had surgery, and I start looking through their records and I'm like, you had an ablation surgery. Ablation is really burning that top layer. Excision is going to go in and excise and remove the endometriosis lesions. However, even if you have excision surgery, if you do not make lifestyle changes, if you do not balance your hormones and really get everything taken care of naturally, right? Even on that, you can have the pharmaceutical side. You got to do the work, the nutrition, the fitness, the lifestyle changes, etc. Even without those changes, and even when you do bring some of those changes in, the endometriosis lesions can reappear. So it is a lifelong chronic illness that you really can, right? That you can go in and really establish a plan so that you can have what I keep saying is that quality of life, right? So that you're not hiding in plain sight. So you're not like your friend, like you said, missing 7 days a week.
Yes, literally 7 days a week.
Right.
Dr. LJ, listen, you said this is a lifelong diagnosis that you've had to deal with, and now you're helping so many people. I mean, how do you cope with dealing with your diagnosis, the prognosis of everything you have to do? How do you balance that out? Have a good quality of life, because you look amazing. I know you go through those moments when we don't get to see, but we get to see the amazing parts of you, and you're helping all these people. I know you do a lot of travel. How does that work out for you?
So to be very honest, in the beginning of my journey, I was traveling and doing all these things. And there came this moment one day when I was on stage, and what I was saying and telling everyone else, what was changing everyone's world, stopped working for me. So at that point, I had to reassess. I had to go back and re-educate myself, right? I had to kind of put down some of those things that I used to say, like eat 6 times a day to rev up your metabolism. Baby, that wasn't working for me. I had a hormonal imbalance. There was no chicken and broccoli 6 times a day that was going to, get your girl slim thick. I was having some major health issues. I was putting on a lot of weight. So for me, I had to really reevaluate and have that come to Jesus moment. And so that's when I really shifted from focusing all on the, like you said, the aesthetics, like what makes you look good. Because here's the thing, right? I was probably, I'd say 15, 20 pounds lighter back then, 0 body fat, etc. And that was the most unhealthy version I'd ever been. The endometriosis lesions were kicking my butt every day, right?
So it made you too skinny.
So it did make me too skinny. What it was is I was chasing what I thought was healthy. I thought being super lean with, not eating fat, not balancing my hormones, over exercising, all of these things, right? That they were preaching in the fitness and the health industry. That is what I was implementing into my world. However, it was not balancing my hormones. It was messing up my cortisol. It was messing up my adrenals. So for me, I had to step away from that and really pivot. And before I started really working with others, I had to get wins in my own world, right? So that's the one thing I say all the time. People ask me, what are the top things you use for period pain right now? Nothing, because I don't have any pain. So I live a pain-free life. As far as it comes with endometriosis diagnosis, I have 0 pain whatsoever. The only thing that I still deal with is managing the autoimmune-like factors, making sure that my immune system stays strong. So that is the one thing that I still have some challenges with, right? Everyone, right? With everything going on. But as far as like being in pain on a daily basis any longer, crawling to the bathroom and passing out and missing work and all that kind of stuff, that's no longer an issue for me.
So you've transitioned. You're in a different season with endometriosis. Wow.
Yes.
That is very interesting.
Total remission. Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make light of the matter, but I know it's very serious. But I'm trying to make it a little bit comedic so that our audience can sort of grasp, especially, just see what we're trying to talk about so it can fall and land easy for them. Because it's a very serious condition, endometriosis. And I want to think that based on what we've talked about so far, there's so many women, so many who are going undiagnosed or who are living with the wrong diagnosis of what is wrong with them. So they're not able to treat themselves. So Dr. LJ, I think the next thing I'm going to ask you to share with us is, what do you think someone who just got a brand new diagnosis of endometriosis, what type of, and I know it's each one it's not typical for everybody. Everybody's very unique in
Right.
how they should manage it. But what are some across the board lifestyle changes that could really help mitigate and reduce some of the side effects of this condition?
The first thing I would say is decrease your inflammation, right? And I know nobody likes to touch the nutrition. I know it's not the sexiest thing, but work with me here. Working with your nutrition and decreasing your inflammation, the pain is coming from the inflammation. Think about it. Every time you're in pain and you run for that ibuprofen, you run for that Tylenol. Tylenol is a pain reliever. Yes, it's going to numb the pain, but when you're taking ibuprofen, it is an anti-inflammatory. So you want to be able to decrease the inflammation, right? So with the decreasing of the inflammation, you've got to change your nutrition. The biggest thing that I do for any of my patients and people, even if you're not working with me, start today. Identify your food triggers. Lots of times you're eating what you think is eating clean, right? Or you're like, I'm pescatarian, I'm vegetarian, I'm keto. You grab all these titles, right?
I don't get it. Or see me, I'm just fooditarian. I just eat food. Like y'all talk about pesky, veggie, vegan, whatever. Me, I'm fooditarian. I tell people like
that you have to find those foods that actually trigger your body, right?
Oh,
that trigger the inflammation. So it's figuring out what those sensitivities are. And most of the time, what happens is people grab a title, the keto, paleo, whatever, and then they eat a bunch of processed food. It doesn't work for them. And then they're like, oh, well, healthy doesn't work. Holistic doesn't work. Is it that healthy and holistic doesn't work?
They haven't found their own type of healthy and holistic.
Yes. You have to find what works for you. I know for me personally, I was doing a lot of salads with peppers and all these types of things. And then after doing some food allergy testing and sensitivity testing, I realized that those weren't working for me, right?
So what are you right now? What are you? Are you vegan? Are you keto? What are you?
So that's just, I'm nothing, right? I got past.
You're fooditarian like me. You're fooditarian like me. I like that. Yeah. You just eat food, right?
That's so funny. On the beginning of my endometriosis healing journey, I was keto. And I will always say that. Now, I don't think it's for everyone, but for me, it was life-changing. Bringing in the healthy fats. And when I say keto, I'm not talking about loads of butter and bacon.
Well, I was going to say that. I'm like, girl, you were eating that butter like you were going to church.
Yes, it wasn't the mountain of bacon and the butter and the coffee. I kind of steered into that. And then I figured out, no. Bringing in healthy fats for me was life-changing. I kept coming from that mentality, that misconception of, I don't want to be fat, so I don't eat fat. Therefore, I would never eat healthy fats, and it was just not good for my hormones. Like, it was literally tearing my body down. So for me, switching over to keto was one of the biggest changes that I made. Now, in my healing journey now, I'm with you. I'm a fooditarian, right? Like, I know what works for my body. I know what my food triggers are. I know what decreases my inflammation. I know what supports my immune system. And as long as I stick with that, I'm good, right? Now, when I derail, which I may have had a little more fun over the summer,
we all do. It's okay, girl.
Yes. It may have weakened my immune system, which is why your girl may have gotten COVID and on the recovery run. Right?
I'm sorry.
But aside from that, I know exactly what works for my body. So the biggest thing with nutrition is there is no cookie cutter diet. And I will definitely put all my contact information and maybe I'll put
please. I
came out with a podcast episode about the endo diet. There is no special endo diet. You have to find what works for you. Right. And what works for you could work great for you and then be kryptonite for someone else. Right. The same thing with supplements. Supplements are there to supplement your journey, but they're not cookie cutter. Right. You really want to delve in and, give you a plan and a protocol so that you know when to pivot so that you can really decrease your inflammation and get that quality of life.
I love it, Dr. LJ. And you said what works for you might not work for someone else. Another thing is what works for you in this season might not work for you in the next season. So you kind of have to stay on top of it. Okay, Dr. LJ, tell me, with all of the stuff, and it's so much though, but I looked at your social media and I'm like, how in the world she got time to be making all these reels and having some, I'm like, look, even for me, I love my social content creation life, but some days I'm like, look, I'm just not feeling y'all today. Like social media, y'all just leave me alone. Clubhouse, shut up. Instagram, leave me alone. How do you do that? How do you manage all that?
I love what I do. It's my passion. And to be honest, I remember what it was like when I was suffering. and I was isolated, I was alone, and I kept blaming my body. And so anytime, I have those moments today, like I did a couple reels and then, but yeah, there are days that I don't want to be out. I'd rather be on Clubhouse, right? Where I can be hanging out in the bed or hanging out, doing whatever, not dressed.
Yeah.
But I know that I have to show up for my community because it can be that one thing. Sometimes it's one of the most basic things I will say. And someone's like, oh my gosh, I've been dealing with this for 15, 20 years and didn't know it was a thing. Or, oh my gosh, my doctor told me this was normal. And I just listened to your podcast and heard your story. And now I know it's not normal, right? So that is why I do what I do, because I was on that other end. I mean, I was complaining and talking to other people. They didn't understand. I was talking to my doctor. They had no idea, they just kept giving me pain pills. They kept, then they think you're pain pill seeking. And I remember.
Yes. I mean, there's people who do that. We know there's people who do that, but then you just don't want to be pigeonholed into that.
Right. Yeah. And I did. One day I broke down crying and I was like, I don't want the pain meds. I was like, I just want to know what's wrong with my body. Like I need to be able to take care of my children. I need to be able to go to work. I mean, I wasn't able to do everyday things. I mean, I couldn't carry my groceries in. There were days I slept on the couch because I couldn't get upstairs to go to bed, right? Like that was my world every day. So once I got away from that, I'm like, I have to share this information, right? Because once again, there are so many people suffering in silence.
And it's amazing that you just said what you just said. And we're not just going to speak past it because it ties directly into my message earlier about not giving up while you're building. Even on the days when it gets overwhelming, it gets underwhelming, it gets crazy, it gets all types of things. You never know that one singular moment when the enemy is pushing you to quit is going to be the one moment when the person that you are sent to deliver is waiting on your message.
Right.
And one thing that I tell myself is this, and I learned it as well. Everything I tell y'all, listen, I'm not like an alien or nothing. I know I said we should be aliens, but I'm just a human being just like you. Everything I share, I learn, and it comes from life lessons, right?
Right.
I learned a while ago that I have to remind myself every day, who loses if I don't win? Someone is going to lose. Big time. Like literally, someone is going to stay ignorant about endometriosis if you stop doing what you're doing. And I'm so grateful that I got to meet you. I'm so grateful that I got to make this connection. And when I start my show every Wednesday and I come out and I say, hey guys, I am so grateful to be here, just to have the opportunity to be alive. Because if you have seen and you have experienced lack of health, you would appreciate health when you have it. I lived with my mom. I still live with her. Over 41 years of my life, I have experienced that woman go from one debilitating, degenerative stage of her disease up until today. And one of the things that I tell myself, and I've told myself since I was a little girl, was, oh my God, I am going to do everything possible to make sure that I am healthy. I am going to do everything possible to make sure my children are healthy. Because once you've experienced somebody going through so much pain, injecting themselves, almost losing their body parts, losing their organs, losing the functions of their body, you're like, oh my God. You have a different sense of appreciation for life and for health. And no matter how much money you have in this world, no matter how much you make, the success, if your health and your wellness is not top notch, if it's not at the top of the pyramid, everything else is for naught. It's for nothing. Right. It's for nothing. So, Dr. Algie, I really appreciate you. I really thank you for taking the time to come in here. And I look forward to bringing you back again to help educate our community. Look forward to collaborating with you, putting some events together for women's health, because it's very important. I would love to do that. So while we're getting out of the show tonight is, how can people reach you and what types of services do you offer? Are you a practitioner? Do you have a clinic? Are you just tell us everything.
Give us the rundown. So I do have a practice. It's totally virtual. I am here in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you're local, we can definitely connect, but pretty much still social distancing, doing everything virtual. I do one-on-one coaching. I do 90-minute hormone resets. So I don't do a lot of group coaching. I've got a wait list for that. So that's kind of packed, but my one-on-one coaching is definitely available. I'll put my link if you guys want to jump on a free discovery call. I've also got my podcast, The Holistic Endo Expert. So you can go grab lots of free content from there and from my Instagram account.
And your Instagram account is LJ Powerhouse.
Yes, LJS_Powerhouse.
That is amazing, yo. LJS_Powerhouse. Guys, go give her a follow on Instagram and check out her content. Honestly, even if you're not interested in the endometriosis thing, her reels are so hilarious and very entertaining. That much I can tell you. She got it going on. Yes, she loves to have a lot of fun. And it's amazing that you still have the good humor to have fun and to just enjoy life through whatever the situation is. So that's an encouragement. So guys, listen, if you're healthy and just have everything together and you're sitting there trying to feel sorry for yourself, trying to give up on life, trying to, just give up on stuff, please don't. Don't. Please do not. Let's just keep going, okay? Let's keep encouraging each other. Let's keep pushing each other forward. Let's keep moving the needle forward, just like Dr. LG and I are doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you have been served tonight. You have learned a little bit more about endometriosis. Thank you, Dr. LJ. Thank you for coming to serve our community tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope and pray that you feel so much better.
On the mend.
Yes. You don't look like it, though. You look well. You look beautiful. You look amazing. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. LG. I'm going to take you out of the studio now as we round up the show tonight. All right, y'all, my people. It's been another amazing night with your girl, Dr. OJ, the Medspa professor, and we brought on an amazing guest, Dr. LJ Johnson. She is an endometriosis expert amongst other women's health issues. So y'all make sure you go to her Instagram, LJS_Powerhouse. Go give her a follow and check out what she's doing out there. And you know what? Share her page, share her content, because you might be literally saving a life. You might be literally saving a life. There's a lot of women who are dealing with reproductive health issues, women's health issues, but they don't even know what it is. They just think they have a period pain. They just think it's something else other than what it is. The worst thing that could happen to a person is misdiagnosis, and they live the rest of their lives treating something that they don't have, while they could have been saving themselves from what they actually do have. All right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. This has been an amazing, wonderful night. I hope you guys have been served. Let me give a shout out. Andy Coulter, thank you, my top viewer on TikTok, with the roses, with the follow, with the likes. Oh my goodness, you are awesome. Thank you so much. Chef Bola, Bob Blake Catering Services, Perha, Damari, Zero to Strong, Joe Mack, my brother, Daddy J. Hey, what's up, my bro? Thanks so much for coming on the live tonight. I had a few people on Facebook, on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. Thank you everyone for coming on here with me again tonight. This has been another wonderful night. I give God the praise and the glory for each and every one of you. Before I leave, I have one ask. That's the only ask. That's all I ask, like every week. That's all I always ask you people to do. Do you guys know it already? You don't know? Okay, let me remind you. Go over to my YouTube page, Dr. OJ Speaks, and go give me a follow, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. Go to my YouTube page. If I have served you tonight, if you have loved tonight's show, even if you did not like it, go to my YouTube page. That is all I need from you. Even if you didn't enjoy the show, it's okay. I don't care. Go to my YouTube page. I know y'all did. I'm just joking. Go to my YouTube page. Give your girl a follow, and subscribe to my YouTube, Dr. OJ Speaks TV, and turn your notifications on, because we have content every Friday and we go live every Wednesday. Content every Friday, live every Wednesday. We need you on there. So y'all, that's all. That's the only thing. It's free. And it's free. Like, it is free. Like, you don't understand. It's free. It is free. You don't pay for it. Just go and give me the free digital currency. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. It's been another amazing night. And I'm going to sign off tonight with my soundtrack. Actually, I'm going to be signing off tonight with this ad that I made in 2020 when I launched my second book, King of My Gifts. Let's hear from Dr. OJ, the multi-potentialite. Hey, that girl, I should be doing too many things. And this particular video just kind of shows just a little bit about my life.
The journey begins at birth. With the story already written, we are making our grand entrance into the world. Unknown, with abilities untold,
and gifts undiscovered. We are made for more. Made to reign and reign. But as we peel back the layers from obscurity to relevance, we encounter various versions and options embedded in our vessels. We wonder and ponder as we strive to discover our ultimate talents. Many times, we fail, fall, cry, and lose. But in the end, we are reborn through the fire and misery of life. As we rise out of the ashes like the phoenix, we rise to take our place on the throne. Finally, we realize we were royalty all along, living as peasants. We were born to rule and reign in life with the King of our gifts.
Ruling and reigning in life with the King of your gifts. What is your gift? Do you even know what your gifts are? Whatever your gifts are, I tell you, it's not given to you to keep to yourself. It is given to you to share with the world and to bless the lives of those around you. So start doing that today. And if you don't know what your gifts are, you need to figure it out. You need to ask the person who gave it to you. Yes, God Almighty. Yes, He gave it to you. And He gave it to you to use it. Don't be that foolish servant that took his talent and buried it and said he was saving it for the master. The master does not need you to save anything for him. He needs you to take that gift, spread it out, and let the people enjoy it, and let the blessing and the glory go to Him, and you get the blessing. He gets the glory, you get the blessing. So guys, listen, the king of your gifts, everyone has a king of their gifts. Everyone carries something unique. Everyone is supposed to rule and reign in life. So let's go out and do that. Like I said at the beginning of the show, don't give up. Don't give up. I tell you, whatever it is you're working on, it might not pan out yet, but it will. If you keep going, you will win. That is certain. If you keep going, you will win. So let's win, guys. Let's win. Until next time, this has been another Wednesday Night Live with Dr. OJ, the Medspa professor. I will see you guys again next week. Thanks for the follow, TikTokers. Love from Lagos, Nigeria, my city, my town, my people. Eko ni baje obaje ti. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I love you. I love you guys so much. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks for the love. All right. Instagram. Peace out, man. Y'all, you guys are awesome. You know I love you. You're like my second love. This is my first love, my TikTok family. You are my second love. It's okay. Don't worry. Let's just be managing ourselves like that. It's okay. All right, y'all. I need to leave. If I don't leave, I won't stop talking. That's how they gave birth to me. He said, "Sin like that." I have to end the broadcast. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys. All right.